Hello everyone, I'm Woman International Master Knarik and I'm using chesswithknarik.com website to record this video. Now, in this position we're analyzing another Zugzwang position in an endgame. Now, the reason why in this endgame we need to think about Zugzwang is this, that our opponent's moves are already limited. Here in this position we have a pass pawn that's trying to promote. Okay, black has this pawn, but it's not really dangerous. The pawn on h2, we can simply stop it. And why are black's moves here limited? Let's say if this pawn pushes, okay, we can capture it. And if, let's say, the bishop does any moves, let's say if the bishop moves to g7, we can fork the bishop and the king from e6. Now the same, if the bishop moves to f8, there's another fork. Now going back, the same if the bishop is moving to g5, there's a fork. If the bishop is moving to f4, there's a fork. How about if e3 is not safe. How about if the bishop moves to d2 or c1? Again, in that case, there is a fork that we can do and win the game. So we can safely say that this bishop has no safe moves to do. If black moves it anywhere, we're gonna win this game. Now how about, okay, if it's exactly the same position, we give the turn to black and black plays with the king. What happens then? Maybe black wants to capture our knight, but then we know the square of a passed pawn. We draw a diagonal towards the promotion rank, and then we complete the square, and we see that by capturing the knight, the black king went out of that square, and we can simply push our pawn and promote. And bishop can't do any moves to stop our pawn from promoting. It will take 2 moves for the bishop to arrive to the square where they can try to stop us, but it's not going to work already. We will have okay, next move already we are promoting and black can't do anything. So going back, capturing our knight for black is not good. At the same time, it's not good if black does a king move. Why? Let's try to see this. If black moves the king, now first of all to d6, now it's not good because there's another fork that we can do. So going back, what if the black king waits on d5, because we can say that by waiting on d5 the black king is still in the square of the passed pawn and will be able to stop the passed pawn if white tries to promote. But the problem is this, that every time we need to push our pawn, the black king needs to get closer to our pawn and stay in the square, but that's not going to work for black if black is moving to d5. Let's see why. If we push our pawn to be in our square, the black king in the passed pawn square, the black king needs to move to c6, but that's not possible now because of our knight. And if the king doesn't stop the pawn, we saw that the bishop is not able to do any moves to stop the pawn as well. So moving the king to d5 didn't work as well. But what else can black play? Other moves are not legal moves, and we tried these. And how about trying to move to b4 or c4? Then again, the black king will have moved out of the square of our passed pawn, which means that we're simply going to be able to push our pawn and promote. But going back, what can we play here? Because it's important that we have exactly the same position and give the turn to black. We don't want to play a move that changes the position much. For example, I don't want to push this pawn and allow the bishop to have a move to do, a safe move to do, attacking my knight, changing this position. Here, for example, pushing the pawn simply is not going to work because black can stop our pawn, is also attacking the knight, so it's not going to be possible for white to win this anymore. Once this pawn is lost, even if white keeps their pawn on f3 and black loses the pawn on h2 as well, then at any moment that black wants, black can just sacrifice the bishop for the pawn on the f file and make this a draw. It's not going to be easy for white to win this. So here we said we don't want to do moves that give our opponent moves to do, safe moves to do. So pushing the pawn is not okay. Moving the king to to any square is going to allow the black pawn to promote, right? And capturing is going to allow the bishop to have some moves, because black bishop is going to check and then start participating in the defense, right? Now, even if, let's see, even if I don't move to defend, I can just capture the knight now, because I don't need to worry about the pawn my bishop is defending. So capturing the pawn was also not good for white, because the bishop just came into play with a check by gaining time, and okay, they could capture our knight in this position. So what else to play for white? How about, okay, we tried moving the pawn on the a file, we tried moving the pawn on the okay, because moving the a pawn again, king to b6 is just okay for black. How about we try to move the white knight, let's say attacking the bishop? But okay, now there are no more troubles with forks, so the black bishop can simply move and try to participate in the defense, and also the king can participate in the defense. If the a pawn falls, then okay, it's easy for black to sacrifice their bishop at any moment for the f pawn, and that's going to be a draw. So going back, moving the knight is not also so good. Okay, also some checks that they make no difference, because black is still capturing the pawn. So what else is left for white to play in this position? So white has one more move to try, and which doesn't make any changes in the position and doesn't allow the black pieces to come back to play, or doesn't allow the bishop especially to participate in the defense. And that move here is going to be king to h1. So what does king to h1 do? So first of all, by capturing, we were allowing the bishop to move with checks. This one doesn't give any checks for black, because our king is standing on a light square. Now, so this means that, again, if there's any bishop move, then white is simply doing a fork, right? Also from the other side, white is simply doing a fork and winning the bishop. Bishop is still not moving. The pawn is not moving. How about the king? We also analyzed all the moves of the king. If the king is moving away, we were able to push, and the king can't get in the square of our pushed passed pawn. And if the king is capturing, we're able to push our pawn and again promote, and the king is not making it. Also staying in the back is not helping, because the black king is again moving out of the square of our passed pawn, and we can promote and win. So in this position, our move is simply playing king to h1, giving the turn to black without making any significant changes in the position that allow the black bishop to come to play, or the black king to be able to capture our pawn, and simply give the turn to black. And now in this position, we can easily say that the black is in a Zugzwang, because no matter what they play, they will lose either a piece, and after losing a piece, they're going to lose the game. Because here, if let's say the bishop is lost, for example, it's okay, very easy for white to win, because okay, in this position, even without a knight, white is winning this, so with a knight it's just gonna be much easier.